So welcome back to Focused Hands. Good to see you again. Thanks for checking out the channel. So today we're going to be working on the first part of rebuilding the input shaft. And I know I've had several comments of people wanting to get a deep dive in to this process. And I felt like I did it already, but I guess they didn't see those videos that I launched out earlier last year. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to start the process of building the new input shaft here. Here is the 3.56 gear ratio. This is a 3.82, and this is the old 3.82 with some damages. We got some few damages here. That's why we're not using this. Few scarrings. Anyway. So I just kind of want to give you a rundown of the two shafts, and we're going to go side by side to see how they are different, and hopefully that will help. Here's a list of that if you were going to buy this, this is what you would need to get just for this section we're working on here. I got mine from my local Ford dealership. I reached out to my local Ford dealer, and they were able to find most of these parts. I have a few more parts coming, but we'll discuss those as we get into this build. You got the C-clamp for this section right here. You got the roller bearings that are going to fit in this section and in this section. Wherever you got spinning, the spinning gears, that's where you're going to have these bearings. I went ahead and got them brand new. This gear here fits in this section, and this gear here is in this box, I believe. And this is the H1 snap ring that fits in this section. And here are the synchros stop blocks. Pretty cool stuff. And this bit here, the synchronizer, is in this box here. I got a little bit of a simile lube for the bearings to make sure everything kind of slides correct. And yeah, this is a brand new bearing. I have another one that I'm going to install on this, so I mean, I can go to the work to try to get this off, but I'm not even going to deal with it. I also got a new bearing for the bottom. It's in the room, and like I said, I could try to get this off, but I'm just going to put the new bearing on there. For a while I couldn't get any parts, and now I pretty much got everything I need. All right, so that's a little bit of the breakdown of what we're going to be doing for today. No, this won't be the full build, like I said, because I'm still waiting on a couple of parts, like this 5th speed gear. I'm waiting on that, but I'm waiting on that to come in so that I can complete it. But we can get through most of this, like I said, so that you can learn how to do this. All right, let's get going. Stay focused. All right, so let's start out by looking at the shafts in parallel. So obvious giveaways here when we look at the first two. This will be the 382 and the 356. As you notice, right away to the trained eye now that the two first gears here, section here, are very different. So you should notice that something's up. So if you got a 382 shaft and you order one and it comes like this, well, you need to get it replaced or send it back because it's not the right one. The shoulder here is much more pronounced than the shoulder on the 3.8. And when we roll this off the edge and roll this one over, you'll see that on the new shaft. The same shoulder. These are the same shafts. So we're good there. All right, let's back it up. And what's one of the first things we're going to do in this process? The first things we're going to do is put on gloves. Then we're going to take some of this assembly lube and we're going to put a little bit of a dab right here on the first part of this gear shaft. I said a little bit of a dab, but we laid it on. Then I'm going to just spin it around. Let's get it nice and lubricated here. For the bearing, we're going to install in that spot. All right, we'll take one of the first two bearings. This is the product number, if you want to look this up. Let's open it up here very carefully. All right, like so. So what we're going to do is push it through the back and gently slide it on over. Slide it on over that and into place. All right, so the first part of this triangle is going to be the smaller gear, and this gear needs to be this face up, mainly because it needs to butt up against this gear here. So when we slide this on, we want to make sure that, I'll bring you in so you can see on the old shaft with the hats facing downward. We'll look at the hats, and these hats need to be facing downward, like so. Boom. That simple. Next thing we're going to do is take one of these blocking rings here. We're going to install that. Here is the product code for that blocking ring. All right, so this blocking ring needs to face downward with the houses pointing down. It all fits like that. Set that down. The next thing is to install the selector. So let's get that out of the box. All right, so I got the assembly here, synchronizer assembly. And for this one, if you look, the synchronizing side with little flat plates needs to be up towards the front, and the teeth side needs to be down towards the back. Into place. And you want to be careful not to move this up, because it'll shoot out and all your balls and springs will come out. So you got to be careful on that front. So the next thing is you want to take the snap ring, the HR1 snap ring. I'm going to slide it in to its location. Then I'm going to slide it over this hump here using a tool. Let's get it over that. All right, so now you're going to have to slide it past. Let me zoom you in here. You got to slide it past this little ridge, over top of that ridge on this side here. That's where it needs to go, on the inside, above these ridges. So let's get it here. Make sure that doesn't come out, because that's not good if it does. Keep that set. So you're gonna probably try to do this with two hands. Keep that set. And over. Help myself here. Like so. And then one more time. It's not all the way set. There we go. So just like that, it's in. But you still want to make sure you don't pull down on this, because it'll bust out and you'll lose all your balls, like you saw in the first episode of this. So now you can take your blocking ring, and remember, you want the housing side facing up, and it needs to go into an open slot. And there's an open slot right here. Let me bring you down so you can see. There's an open slot right here. We'll slide in. Move this out of the way. This will slide in like so, and right into that open slot. And you won't be able to turn it once you get it in there like that. Pretty cool, right? All right, let's bring you back out. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is lubricate this section here, and then install the needle bearing. A little bit of assembly lube. I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit. Just like so. It doesn't really matter which way you install this, up or down. You slide it over and into place, just like so. All right, so the next thing is to take I think this is the 4th speed gear, and you obviously, well, I can't say obviously, you want to slide it in with the hat. This is the hat here, the teeth, the hat pointing upward, because you don't want this like this. You won't be able to get your 5th speed gear on. So slide it up and into place over top of the needle bearing. Just like so. And at this step, you would have completed your initial set. So this would be a really good spot to stop, and that's where we're actually going to stop today, mainly because I'm still waiting on the 5th speed gear that's going to get pressed up against this, and then you'll have a secondary snap ring that's going to go here. Then all the way at the end here is where we're going to have so it's a 7025B, and this is important. A will go up here, right? A goes here, which is the same thing on this shaft here. So this is A. A is significantly larger than B, which is right here. So I don't know if you can tell the difference by the camera angle, but those are very different. And I didn't even notice that either until I was getting ready to put A on the bottom. I was like, hey man, it's not fitting. Turns out Ford used 2 different sizes. But once we get that in, we can continue this process. But hopefully this give you a little bit of clarity, and takes away a little bit of the mystery of the MTX-75 Input shaft. It's not hard to do. It's really easy to disassemble and reassemble this shaft. And I challenge you to go out and give it a try, because if I can do it, I believe you can do it. And you might want to do it while you still can, because these parts are getting really hard to find. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this episode. We'll pick back up once the parts get here, and we'll continue on with the painting for the wing in the next episode. I'm going to try to do 3 episodes this month. I might kick it in. You might see the painting project in April, but I'll be back as soon as I can. With that said, Focused Hands signing off. Peace.